Hey everyone, today we're looking at how to avoid disasters, and Boo is giving Ollie a lesson. Little Boo learned Ollie's dog passed, shocked speechless. To keep everyone calm, he decided to stick with the group, trapping Ollie. But guess what? Ollie accidentally dug up Little Boo's secret, and that shocked Boo even more. Hearing Fei Fan's death was Ollie's doing. He said he'd generate power while suffocating. Who would have thought Hugh Fei Fan would actually follow Ollie's brilliant advice? Ollie saw his chance and kicked the stool from under him, deliberately targeting Hugh and Fei Fan to create chaos and distract the principal and the gang. This way, he could make an excuse to escape with Little Boo because he had already fallen head over heels for her. Little Boo shivered, learning she killed her brother and now another for love. Clearly her mind was a bit twisted. Ollie even asked Little Boo to put on his grandma's dress. If she didn't comply, he'd go and kill Xiao and. Under this kind of pressure, Little Boo had no choice but to agree and don grandma's lady dress. What she didn't expect was for Ollie to chop off his hair and drag her into a dance. Suddenly, a pair of scissors appeared, and Ollie explained that he did it to let Little Boo give him a good beating. This girl's brain was just wild. To save Ollie, Little Boo decided to sleep on the floor with him and Fei AI. They watched ceiling stars till sleep, but Little Boo woke to noise midnight. Stepping outside, she bumped into the principal's wife coming downstairs. But when she entered Xiu's room, she found he had been smothered with a pillow. Talk about high stakes for Little Boo. Xiu was actually smothered with a pillow. If Fei Fan's death was Ollie's doing, then he had been with Little Boo the whole, so it couldn't have been him. Next, she checked on the twins, and luckily they were just fine. Just then, she heard some whispering downstairs. Sneaking down, she overheard the principal and his wife's conversation and realized they weren't even really to top it off. The shocking news was that the living teacher was the one who killed Xiu, and the principal didn't seem too happy about it. He blamed the teacher for being hasty and messing up his plans. Little Boo didn't know details, but she figured they wanted to kill all students. To avoid any mishaps, Little Boo slipped into the basement, and guess what? She stumbled upon Hugh and Fei Fan's body in the fridge. And even more, another cooler had a guy and a gal's bodies. When Little Boo fished out a wallet from the guy's pocket, she realized they were the real principal and his wife. Just then, a woman burst in. It was Xiu's mom, and she came to check on her kid. But when she heard it was too late. The moment she understood everything. What she said next sent shivers down Little Boo's spine. Apparently, parents signed some sort of contract with the principal. All students who were sent here would meet an inevitable fate of being killed. Upon learning about Xiu's death, this mother unexpectedly felt a peculiar sense of relief wash over her. But just as she was about to leave, the living teacher showed up and triggered the principal's ire again. She had already put deadly poison into the wine. It would kick in 3 hours later, and this kind of drug wouldn't even show up on tests. Now there was another. This just added to the risks ahead. While they were talking, the principal suddenly sliced the teacher's neck. After people died, she called everyone. The principal, however, was surprised to see Little Boo looking totally unfazed. Not at all like a kid should be. And he mused that Little Boo would make a great assassin, even thinking about training her. She asked Little Boo to help her move bodies. Little Boo, like a little kid, had the demeanor of a seasoned pro. Little Boo's mindset was small yet extraordinary, helping her move bodies around. And not only that, they were imparting knowledge through personal demonstration, making the live turkeys an indispensable part of the principal's grand scheme. This raised Little Boo's suspicions about the potential accidental fire ahead. The principal wouldn't leave a trace behind. Once the bodies were charred, no one would connect her to this fake principal scam. All they'd know was that the school caught fire, and everyone would be dead. Little Boo realized that once all the bodies were set up, she'd be the next. So, what she needed was to strike first. Just then, she heard Ollie making noise and caught him watching her epic moment on the stairs. Little Boo directed Ollie to wake everyone up so they could escape while she set up the principal to look like she was knocked over. But when Fei and the twins came down, Little Boo tricked Ollie into a room and slammed the door locked. She had no plans to let Ollie escape because she knew he was a liability. First, he killed his own brother, then he's trying to run away, and off you. This fire would be his final destination. When it all ended, Little Boo became the most clear-headed one. She realized the true reason everyone was sent here. In the twins' room, Little Boo had seen a family photo. One question popped up, and she asked, "Were your parents your adoptive ones?" The answer was a resounding no. Upon revisiting the twins' father's expression now, it is quite possible to speculate that the twins were actually the result of his wife's infidelity, which could well be the underlying reason why she ended up signing a life or death contract with the impersonative principal. Then we have the father of the illegal twins, who stated that ultimately these illegal parents ended up getting harmed in their attempts to shield their legitimate offspring. The last was Little Boss' own issue, where she realized her father deceived her mother, which is why she was sent to the school to be erased by the principal. But now it was time for her revenge. Her father eventually fell victim to the principal's deadly poison, which was basically just a sudden death, because the fake principal had said such poison wouldn't even show, and the core figure throughout this movie is actually Little Boss' grandma, who was held captive by a German officer in her youth. To escape bullying, she ground her teeth daily until the officer reached out. Her sharpened teeth finally came in handy. Little Boss' recurring dream of a terrifying woman was more a manifestation of her grandma's spiritual legacy. Until Little Boo witnessed the fake principal's true face, she inherited her grandma's strength and coolness. The evening dress she wore was more like a battle dress of rebellion.